Thanks for checking in on the State of Basketball Podcast, episode 107. I'm Adam Miller, and I'm here with Jaren Will each and every week, and we are going to be bringing you the news and notes on all 11 Division I schools in the state of Indiana, because in 49 states,
it's just basketball.
I choked on my own tongue.
Dude, I was about to roast you so hard because we've done 107 episodes, and through the first 80, until we started going live, right? When we would pre-record and then post, we'd have to do so many retakes because we'd mess up the intro.
Occasionally,
or something. Yeah. But aggregate, there were a lot of times where we had to redo the intro.
Yeah.
And
then when we started going live, it's just been fine.
Yeah. And
that one, I just my tongue just got stuck. I was like, I can't get it there. But we're here. We are going to be talking about, the last week in Indiana basketball. We're going to be talking about all 11 schools, of course. Finally, everybody played last week. We had to pivot because not everyone played, but conference season is here, and we had some depressing results pretty much across the board. There were some positives, but a lot of the results were pretty depressing. But a very monumental thing happened, and a very crazy thing happened this week too. So we're gonna talk about it all this week. So we're here talking about, I guess this is week 9 of the season, right? Or week 8?
This is which it's
I don't remember.
Well, it's our week 9
Hang on,
recap.
I got you. It's week 9, yeah. So we're recapping the 9th week of the season, over 2 months in.
Yeah, this is the halfway point, right? Of the regular season, right? It's the halfway point in which we will talk about every team, 11 teams. There will be some teams that won't make conference tournaments potentially, or at least there's an uphill battle to make it.
The way that things are looking, there will probably be some teams that don't make the conference tournament.
Yeah. So we are here to, be that middle point. There's only 9 more weeks after this where we'll talk about all 11 teams. And to get started, we will start off with our power rankings, which are presented by Crow's Nest Coffee. Obviously, the holiday season is in the past. Happy New Year's to everyone. We should have led with that because Okay.
Earth went around, or the sun one more time.
Yeah, but still, it's an exciting time.
Maybe we should be saying
it's a fresh year.
Maybe we should be saying Happy New Year on our first week.
That is our calendar year.
That's our calendar year is
Okay.
Is when the basketball season starts. But yes, it is January. Calendar is turned to January.
The holiday season is behind us, so there's no more opportunities for stocking stuffers. But Crow's Nest Coffee is great coffee for us. It's the cold months here in Indiana, so still an opportunity to get warm and to warm up with the coffee and get your morning caffeine in. And Crow's Nest is there to provide that for you. You can use promo code TSOB at checkout for 15% off every order. The link is in our description or on our social medias, the link in our bio. So go ahead and check them out if you are a coffee lover. They are so generous to us to renew our Power Rank sponsorship. And to get into the Power Rankings, not a lot changed. Part of that, has to do with, we just did a good job of ranking them last week for our last episode. So
pat ourselves on the back there.
To get into it, we've got number 11, Ball State, number 10, Southern Indiana, number 9, IU Indy, number 8, Evansville, number 7. This is our only change from last week. Number 7 is Purdue Fort Wayne. Number 6 is Indiana State. So those two swapped. Indiana State moved up to 1 spot, and Purdue Fort Wayne dropped 1 spot. Number 5 is Valpo. Number 4 is Notre Dame. Number 3 is Indiana. Number 2 is Butler. And number 1 is Purdue.
Yeah, Indiana State they were pretty close with PFW there on the power rankings, and Indiana State got a pretty good win, and PFW, beat a team that they should beat. And just Indiana State kind of had a better week, even though they both had the same record for the week. But so just one change. So good job us. Let's get into the breakdown. We're going to start where we always start, except for that one accursed time, which will live forever in lore.
I'm trying to forget it, but you bring it up every week.
I want people to be like,
memory.
I want people to think what I missed that time, right? Like if they didn't listen to that episode, they didn't get to experience it, and there's no way to find it. Like you just, you can't. It's not like listed in the episode title or in the description.
No, you just have to go watch every episode to figure out when it happened.
Skip through, yeah. But we're starting with Ball State. We're going in alphabetical order. So Ball State went down a little bit here in Torvik. They were at 305 last week. They're at 311 now, and they went 1-1 this week. That brings them to 4-10 on this season and 0-2 in the MAC. They won on Monday, I believe. They beat Earlham 93-30. Obviously, not a Division I win, not a MAC win. So we'll pretty much just report the score and move on, because that's not really that important at this point, as it's their next game. They lost at Buffalo. Buffalo, very good team in the MAC right now, competed, but ultimately fell short 85-72.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that Buffalo game, it boils down to one thing in my mind, right? Is you either let a team shoot lights out from three, or let a team attack the glass. It's like you're more than likely, a team like Ball State, they're gonna one of those is gonna occur. A team's either gonna shoot lights out from three, or they're gonna just dominate you in the paint.
Okay.
In this game, both happened.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what it boiled down to, right? Buffalo shot 45% from three, and they're 56% from the floor, but they just got dominated in the paint, and that just both of those things occurring, I think is really what held Ball State back in this game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Devin Barnes did his absolute best to try and win this. He dropped like 20 points, and it just wasn't enough. Played better, but they really lost this game in the first half. And I think it's as simple as Buffalo's a much better team, and they played like it. Played like it at home, and I really think that's all it boils down to is Buffalo's a lot better. Like they're ranked 152. That's but Ball State's at 311. Like this is honestly, this is probably a closer result than some like markets might have had it at 13. So
yeah, for sure.
Not too mad about that. Just need to see some wins come through for Ball State. 4-10 is not looking super positive at this point. Like we said, some teams are going to be outside looking in potentially, or could be. Ball State's one of those teams that looks like they're going to be outside looking in, because I think I guess the Big Ten does it too, but they're one of our few conferences that not every team makes the conference
OVC, the MAC, and then now the Big Ten.
So 0-2, not a good start, but obviously you start by your second game in the MAC is against one of the best teams, probably one of the top three teams in the MAC. So
yeah,
tough ask.
The MAC, honestly, they're top four. They'd be top four just because you've got Kent State, Akron, and then Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, Miami of Ohio,
probably the best mid-major in the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's definitely going to be a challenge, because that's 4 spots. There's 4 spots in the standings remaining for Ball State to squeak into,
right?
Because those 4 teams aren't going anywhere, anytime soon. But moving on to Butler. They're ranked 49. That is down 2 spots from 47. They did go 0-2 this week, but they are 10-5 overall and 1-3 in the Big East. A tough start to the Big East schedule, playing 3 of the best teams in the conference. But they lost at Creighton 89-85, and then lost to Villanova at home 85-67.
Dude, I don't know. So the one trend we're going to see with almost every team is that first game back after break, and sometimes even more than that, shooting non-existent. Yeah. I don't know. Shooting was still on vacation, I guess, for a lot of these teams, because Butler in this Creighton game went 4 for 20 from 3.
Dude, BizJack might be broker than me.
he's playing pretty.
Like,
He's playing pretty badly from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
he's
just
affecting
seeing
the game
him.
other ways, but
Seeing him 1 for 7 and I think 1 for 6.
Yeah.
In those 2 games, 2 for 13 combined over 2 games, and Butler's not a team that's going to shoot well from 3. They don't have.
Finley's a guy who should be able to do it, right? He's one of the guys
like, as a team, right? But they need to rely on Bizjack, and that's kind of where I was going with it. Is like the team's not going to shoot well from 3
if he's
collectively,
not,
and then especially when he's off, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his last couple of games, Villanova 1 for 6, Creighton 1 for 7, NJIT 2 for 7, Northwestern 2 for 9. UConn 1 for 5, Providence 2 for 10, Boise State 0 for 5, and then Eastern Michigan 6 for 10, 4 for 9 before that, like 2 for 10 for Virginia. But like, he's in a slump, very clearly. like very clearly, he is in a slump, and he will pull out of it. But as a fan of Butler, I would like him to pull out of it
sooner rather than later.
Very quickly, because
it's just gonna just have a negative downward spiral on their season if he doesn't. Like, right? Obviously, you lose Jalen Jackson, which we've talked about several times. He's not a 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
he's an attack the glass, and maybe that's forcing Bizjack to take a little bit more heavily contested shots. Yeah. I mean, you see it here and there, but you'd actually have to break down every single shot he's attempted since Jalen's been out versus the ones he's been in to really see. And sorry, we don't do that, right?
I don't have a Synergy subscription.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Yeah, we have not done that. But I mean, moral of the story: they got outplayed in both these games. The defense is always going to leave a lot to be desired. Their defense is not their calling card, so they're letting teams score at a decent rate. And when you're not knocking down threes and you're taking a lot of threes, right? 20 attempts is a lot. Then and missing them, then that's just gonna, it's lost possessions at that point. Yeah. Yes, they rebound pretty well, but not. That's not going to outweigh the.
I mean, if you don't include Evan Haywood's three threes down the stretch, they only hit 1.
Yeah,
he had 3 of their 4, and they were literally in the last couple of minutes. Villanova, you're competing with them at half. You let them go on a run to end the half, and then you just don't come out of the locker room. Essentially, you lose by 18. You let them shoot 70% from the field in the second half. That's absolutely disgusting. They were 1 for 12 from the 3. Was decent defense, but also like things are going to even out. They're not going to shoot. They're probably not going to shoot that poorly the rest of the game. But I mean, at home, that's just unacceptable. Like truly unacceptable. After you had one that you could have stolen on the road at Creighton, and then you follow that up with, no offense to Evansville, but like an Evansville style performance in the second half where they just tale of two halves type of thing.
One thing that stands out to me about this Butler team is they're playing well, they're playing better in fast paced games, right? That's why Jalen Jackson was such a big fit.
Yeah.
But 3 of their 4 conference games have been against 3 of the slowest paced teams in the league.
Yeah.
And they've lost all 3 of those games.
Right.
So I was looking at that. I was like, that makes
recipe.
A lot of sense. But then let's go ahead and move on to Evansville, Adam.
Yeah, since I brought them up, I'll keep going. So Evansville is down a little bit. They were at 269 last week. They're at 274 now. They had a little bit of a rough week. They went 0-3. That brings them to 4-12 on the season, and they are now 0-5 in the Missouri Valley. So how did they do? What happened this week? Well, they went to Bradley and they lost 76-68. Tough loss, close compete. Then you go to Illinois State and lose there 73-47. Jarring result there. And then lose to Northern Iowa at home. Northern Iowa is very good, but lose to them 62-48.
Yeah, I mean, 7 straight losses is tough. That's not what you want to see.
I hope not. I hope not.
The thing that just makes me sad is, and I didn't see it coming, but they're the worst team in the Valley. I didn't expect it. Yeah. It's a pretty large margin too. when you look at their team ratings and rankings and whatnot.
Yeah, just for reference, they are 274, and the team right above them is Illinois Chicago at 205. And yeah, so the bottom of the valley, unfortunately, right now is a lot of familiar teams. It's Valpo at 1-3, Indiana State at 1-4, Illinois Chicago at 0-4, and then Evansville 0-5. So
yeah, it's I just didn't expect Evansville to be at the bottom, especially when you're returning the defensive player of the year. Obviously, they lost several key pieces, but they brought in some key pieces and returned some key guys as well. But
they needed to bring in the offensive player of the year, dude. Good Lord.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like they just can't score. Like their defense is good, but it's not good enough to make up for them. Having one of the worst offenses in college basketball.
You'd have to have an S tier performance on defense just to compete. Like if you bring and if it's like S tier performance on defense and then B tier on offense, you lose. You're losing because their B tier performance on offense is like a D tier for a different team. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like you start 0-12 in the second half against Bradley. You let Illinois State go on a 21-2 run in the second half, and then what was it? 1 for 14 from 3 against UNI, and only grabbed 2 offensive rebounds all game. It took them 33 minutes and 31 seconds to hit a 3 against Northern Iowa. Leaf Muller hit one with like 6:29 to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It not a recipe for success in any sense of the word.
Before we move on, I do want to point your attention to, if you haven't noticed this yet, and I've not seen him on anybody's all name list, Bradley has a 7-footer named Kai Yu. He's only 4, man. Each day he grows some more. He's Kai Yu. I saw that and I was like, there's no way. Why have I not seen people talk about this?
That's awesome. Moving on to Indiana, they are ranked 19th in Torvik. That is up 1 spot from 20. Their record is 10-3. They are 1-1 in the Big Ten, and right now they are currently winning against Washington 54-48 with 16 and a half minutes left to go in the game. So they hit a bit of a slump. They went into half 52 with 52 points, and they haven't scored. They've scored once in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, they were up. They had 50 points with 2.5 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, they were up like 15 at half, I think. Or it might have been 12 at half, but that's all we can really...
They started 5 for 5 from 3, and they are now 1 for 11 since then.
Yep, and that is our analysis.
They heard us. They
heard us talking people in the production van.
They heard us talking about Evansville, and they were like, "Watch this, watch this."
So that is your update on Indiana. Their only game this week is Washington, who they are actively playing right now.
And they have just put up a bunch of empty possessions in a row, and now Washington is only
down
by 4. All right, so
they got a turnover. Lamar Wilkinson's driving, passes it.
To Bailey.
Trent Sisley went up and got fouled. No, blocked. They called it
Anyway, TV timeout. We will update you later. That's neither here nor there. So that's Indiana. Let's talk about the other Indiana State. Indiana State moved up a bit here. They went from 221 up to 198. They went 1-2 this week. So these Valley teams, I mean, they really went through this week with 3 games. They're 8-8 on the season and 1-4 in the Missouri Valley. They beat Belmont 81-80 in overtime. Sorry, that was an overtime win. And then they lost at Northern Iowa 75-66, and then they lost at Drake 74-72. Graves is back. I mean, Matt Graves is back.
Yep, he was back for the Northern Iowa game.
Yeah.
No.
Belmont
game.
He came back and they won in overtime, and he drew up some good plays to get him a win. Camp Swagner and the Machine just continued to roll and really make this team stick in games when they need to. And yeah, I mean, just really good for them to get a win back there with their coach on the sideline.
So really, it's a season best. Sorry, I was gonna say overall, but the really cool thing for them is against Belmont. They hit 40% from three, which set a new season best for a team for them against a Division I team. And it's 2 games in a row that they did that. They against Illinois State, they shot 37.5. So
Nice.
that was a good sign, I thought. And then the Northern Iowa game happened, and it was one of their best overall shooting performances of the season. Like, they shot well in the first half, and then they were up at half. I was like, they're gonna pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna beat UNI, who we thought was gonna just run a clean sweep on all 3 of our Indiana teams, and they still they did. Spoiler alert, but
yeah, it's hard to beat them when you end up shooting 23% from 3.
Yeah,
like you can't beat Northern Iowa like that.
The second half got to them, and it was GG's from there.
Yeah, and then Drake they played, and they absolutely should have won this game. There was a possession with like less than 30 seconds left, I think. The play they drew up was Ian Scott gets the ball like kind of top of the key, and Camp Swagner was supposed to roll. He was rolling through the lane, and there were just like too many guys there, and he just got absolutely creamed by the secondary defender. And Ian Scott was clearly ready because he just tossed the pass, and it just went to no one because Camp Swagner had gotten obliterated. They didn't call anything. They lose the ball. Have an opportunity to win it, miss the 3, have an opportunity to make it with 1 second left, and they toss it up for a Derek Vorst tip in, and he gets blocked by a 7-footer. So didn't happen, but like that is one that's really gonna stink if they don't steal a couple that they're not supposed to win, because that one was well within their grasp, especially late. They were leading for quite a bit there.
Yep. So then IU Indy, they're Torvik ranked 327. That is up a couple spots from 336. They did, however, go 0-3 this week. They're 4-13 overall, 0-6 in the Horizon. They lost at Cleveland State 99-86. They lost at Northern Kentucky 82-71. Then they came home and unfortunately lost to Wright State 81-77.
This is a team that to me passes the eye test without any results to back that up, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
you know, they're getting closer to winning. Cleveland State, not very good. Wright State done well in the MAC, but they're kind of like middle there. And then Northern Kentucky, I think they're kind of the same thing. But like, they led for a while against Northern Kentucky. They absolutely should have beat Wright State. They're just not, winning. I think it's just the system not being there, right? And still struggling with that. I think that the way that it plays is they're losing because they're making mistakes. But I don't know, man. It just feels like it's slipping closer and closer to these results just going the other way.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like, they're getting closer and closer.
The a couple signs to me that the system is starting to work, right? They have the number 1 tempo in college basketball. They rank number 1. When we know they play fast, right? We've talked about it. I think the whole country was put on notice after the Ohio State game to literally start the season.
Yeah.
So like that, great sign, right? They're playing the tempo that they want to play. Obviously, there's other factors, turnovers, shots going in, things like that. But they're also top 5 in the country in opponent adjust, which just means that they play above average against better opponents and below average against really bad teams. So, like, those to me are 2 key metrics that point to, okay, the system is starting to work. Things are falling into place. I think those things will remain. The results will just start going their way, right? Because like those stats don't take into consideration wins and losses. It's the overall performance, and I think that's what matters, right? We always knew that this was going to be a rebuild year for IU Indy. we obviously want them to win all of their games. We want every team to win all of their games. Unfortunately, it just doesn't going to happen. One, because teams play against each other, and you can't.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. But I mean, D'Agostino, great week.
He's a dog,
right?
Yeah.
Wright State, he played 38 minutes. He scored 31 points.
27 against Cleveland State.
Almost a point a minute, which is awesome.
Tied his career high again.
Yeah. Yeah, so good signs coming. It's just the results aren't there, and that's just the way it's going to go.
They had a three-pointer late, like under 10 seconds or so, that Micah Davis shot. I think that's the one. It was literally, I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of magic. It was in. Like, it was in, and then it just, like, hit the rim and just came back out. It was crazy. And then, that was it, basically. But let's talk about the next team, because this is kind of the most interesting story. So Notre Dame went from 77 to 66, so they're up 8 spots in Torvik. They went 1-1 this week, and definitely should have been 2-0 without their starting point guard. They are now 10-5, and they are 1-1 in the ACC. So they beat Stanford at Stanford 47-40. So they did the West Coast trip in the ACC, which makes no sense to me still. And then they lost at Cal 72-71.
I thought I was watching Virginia playing against Colorado State circa 2024.
Oh my gosh, that tournament.
That Stanford game, that play-in game, where everyone was like, why is Virginia in it? And then we saw that, and I was like,
yeah,
they definitely should have been. It was like, what, 60-something to 47?
It was
final.
like someone was in the teens at the half, I think.
Yeah, Virginia had 13 and a half. That's still scarred in my mind. But that's what this game felt like. It was very, very odd. Painful.
Yeah, 27-14 at the half, and then it was 67-42 Colorado State at the end.
Damn, didn't I say that too?
You said 13.
I meant the final score. I thought I had that
maybe.
right.
I don't know. Check the VOD.
I'm not going
to. I mean, it was a sickos game for sure, right? 3 for 16 from 3 for Notre Dame, and then 4 of 30 for Stanford. 4 of 30, dude. That is crazy. Again, this is another one of those games where the 3-point shooting was clearly still on vacation. They left it. I guess when was this game? I don't remember. Did they leave it in the new year? I don't remember when they played this.
No, I think this was before New Year's.
This is right before New Year's.
Yeah. But still,
it was bad.
But hey, they won. And that's what matters.
They did win.
The outcome matters more than the box score.
Yeah, and
here
they win that game 47-40, right? Louisville goes and is also on this trip, and they lose to Stanford in overtime 80-76. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's college basketball, baby.
And I love it.
That's just college basketball.
I love it. The Cal game, though, that's, I think, the most interesting. We just talked about a team going a score that was 47-40, where they were 3 of 16 and 4 of 30.
Yeah.
And that's not even the most crazy thing that happened with Notre Dame this week.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind.
This is one of those ones that, like, not many people saw live. They just all saw the clips on Twitter, and because the game was, like, finishing after midnight,
right.
playing Cal. Basically what happened, Notre Dame is up 3. Okay. They're up 3, and they're coming, Cal has the ball, they're coming down, and Notre Dame told the refs they were trying to foul. They were fouling the whole time, like they were fouling, and then
there were like 7 fouls on this play.
Dude, then they foul, and then Cat goes up and takes a shot. No, doesn't get touched. It goes in. Right? They call a foul. Shooting foul. 71-71. He hits the free throw. Up 72-71. Notre Dame comes down, misses their last shot, and soon as that buzzer sounds, Micah Shrewsberry beelines for that sideline ref that called that foul. He is forcibly restrained.
Yeah.
He's forcibly restrained by his coaches and his players. And like the way that people on Twitter were experiencing it was like, here's Micah Shrewsberry charging after the ref. And then the next thing people were like, here's the foul that they called. And everyone was like, oh, okay, don't charge it after the ref, but that is the right thing,
reaction.
Shrewsberry, because that is not right.
Well, the crazy thing about this sequence is the refs called it a foul on the shot. And then they took a second. They said, okay, there's no foul on the shot. And then the Cal coach talked to the ref, like screamed at him, said whatever. And then they changed it. So they called a foul, changed it to no foul, then changed it back. So the Cal coach effectively just convinced the ref that that's a foul. And then this is how it all transpired. So like, it's one of those things too, is like you tell the refs, hey, we're fouling. They don't call it. Then they call it on the shot. Then they take it back. And then they let the other coach convince them that it was a foul and call it a foul again. So it's like, okay, yeah, definitely a reasonable reaction when you put it all together.
Yeah, I mean, he's right to be mad. He's not right to chase after the ref. I'll go that far and say you probably shouldn't chase down and look like you're going to strangle somebody, because it looked like he was going to kill him.
He went Juwan Howard mode.
Not even, dude. Juwan Howard just hit somebody. Micah Shrewsberry had to be restrained by multiple people, and Micah's a strong-looking dude, man. He's a big guy who can. I mean, it was seriously so many people. Like and I don't think this is the first time we've seen him be restrained. It's not. Last year, I don't remember what game it was, but he was also about to kill a ref. Now, my question is, are things is his seat heating up more because of these antics? They issued an apology or whatever, but it seemed like Notre Dame was pretty much like, nah, refs got that wrong. Like, we got your back. Like, we're not going to suspend you or anything, which is normally what you would expect from that type of reaction.
I think it's one of those things that, like, yeah, Notre Dame's going to have his back until the results don't keep coming. And they're going to, like, use that as almost like another scapegoat opportunity of, like, yeah.
I mean, they have a lot of things where they can say, like, you know, they're 10-5, they do have a loss to Purdue Fort Wayne, but like they're 10-5, which is fine. They're 1-1 in the conference, and they, you know, going out west and winning too is always hard, but they absolutely should have. So, I mean, really not too bad on the results, but like,
didn't he also cancel Christmas at his house?
That's what he said. He said this ruined my Christmas.
But that was before this.
That was after the PFW loss.
Yeah,
that's what he said after that, and then.
He canceled Christmas.
He's now tried to kill two refs. One, you know, I mean, they can, you know, if they want to get rid of him, they can say that he's not. I mean, especially as like a private Catholic school, they can say he's not representing the school well, which I think is fair. But I think that, you know, they are playing like they are playing well without him. They are playing well without Marcus Burton, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, 3 of 16 is not good, but like they got the win, so it doesn't matter. They just got the game stolen from them at Cal, so like they're playing well, and we'll see what they can do the rest of the season.
So let's move on to Purdue Fort Wayne. Right, that's who's next. I scrolled too far. They are 273 in Torpic. That is down from 210. This kind of aligns with why they dropped back a slot in our power rankings. But they are 1-2 this week, or they were 1-2 this week. They're 9-8 overall, 3-3 in the Horizon. They lost at Milwaukee 77-55. They lost to Green Bay 72-54. And then they won over Cleveland State 74-71. That Milwaukee game, I went back and looked at several years of games. Their worst offensive performance in like 5-6 years. Against Milwaukee, like that was their worst offensive rating in the last like 5 years.
But they scored one more point against Green Bay.
Yeah, but I think there's a little bit more to offensive rating than just points scored.
I'm not paid to know all that.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I pay someone else to tell me that. Shout out my boy Evan.
So what's interesting is Purdue Fort Wayne was 237th in the country before at the time when they played Notre Dame, and then that shot them up to 210, and then the Milwaukee loss dropped them to 237, and then the Green Bay loss dropped them to 265, and then the Cleveland State win is where they ended up at 273, which is interesting because they won by 3, but they still dropped because they were supposed to win by more. That's how the analytics works. Isn't that interesting? But like a 63-point drop is pretty crazy. I mean, coming off of beating a team who was top 70, we'll do that when you lose by 22 and then 18 to teams that you're not really supposed to lose by much. Yeah, I mean, again, a bad shooting night. 7 for 32. I mean, not terrible, but like Milwaukee started almost immediately after a couple minutes, goes on a 22-1 run. Green Bay starts the game 15-0. Just starts the game 15-0. PFW doesn't even score until the 12-13 mark in the game. And Cleveland State down 11 at halftime. Seemed like things were going to go the same way as the last 2 games. But it's a Kaufman team. I mean, you can never count them out. Mm-hmm. And they ended up flipping the script there, going a 13-4 run in the last 3:30. And the big 3 of DeAndre Craig and Corey Hadnot had 20 each. And then Mikhail Stevenson had 18. So pretty good. And that Cleveland State game turned things around and didn't let things snowball following the last 2 losses, really.
Yeah. Fun fact for me, I was looking back. Maximus Nelson, right, is a 3-point specialist.
Okay.
Right. That is his role, shoot threes. He's only shot. There's 3 games this season where he's shot anything other than a 3. That to me is just awesome. Like
Jack Golke, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. I saw that and I was like, I'm just curious.
Maximus Nelson. Let
me look back through the rest of this season.
Maximus Nelson would be a March Madness legend. People would love to love Maximus Nelson. Let's make it happen.
If his shots are going in.
Yeah. So I have a fun fact too. They are 1-7 on the road. Their 1 win, Notre Dame.
Yeah. Another thing, it's a not so fun fact. They're only favored to win 1 game the rest of the season, and that's against IU Indy.
But we know that won't happen. They'll win more than that.
Yeah. So let's move on to Purdue, our only team that went undefeated this week so far.
True.
They're ranked 3rd in Torvik. That is up from 8. They went 2-0 this week. They're 13-1 overall, 3-1 in the Big Ten. They got a win over Kent State, 101-60. And they followed that up with a win at Wisconsin, 89-73. And the Purdue Boilermakers are our Hickory Team of the Week. Like I said, they had those 2 big wins. Jack Benter went absolutely nuclear from 3 against Kent State. He tied the school record for made threes without a miss. Braden Smith became the all-time assist leader in the Big Ten. That's surpassing Cassius Winston. He has 893 assists and counting. Purdue, 3-1 in the Big Ten for the first time since starting 12-0 in the 2017-2018 season. They now have 15 double-doubles in 14 games. Last year's team had 14 double-doubles all season. And they snapped a 2-game losing streak to the Badgers. And the win was their largest win against Wisconsin in the Kohl Center ever. And with all of that, we felt that they deserved to be the Hickory Team of the Week for Week 9 of the 2025-2026 basketball season.
Cold White Boys are back, man. Jack Benter, Braden Smith, just the latest addition. I mean, Braden Smith's been cold for years. But I mean, Jack
Yeah.
Penter, man, he's on fire.
I mean, Fletcher Lawyer, they're now undefeated in his time there, where he scores 20 or more points.
Yeah,
Like,
he's crazy. Yeah, I mean, Dakota Mathias and Jaden Ivey have made that many threes without a miss, and that's a pretty good group to be in the same sentence as.
Yeah, I think that's the right spot to be.
893 assists. I mean, at least the picture of Braden wasn't AI on Twitter, man.
Oh my God.
That was disrespectful.
Yeah.
This Wisconsin game, I mean, Braden Smith was limited in the first half, and then just was like second half, just came out and just took over the game and was dishing everybody, serving everybody, you know, their dinner on a platter, right? It was just awesome to see him just take over. And like, this was at the Kohl Center, but the crowd, like a lot of Purdue fans there, obviously, because, you know, they travel pretty well, but then also they knew that this was probably going to be the game. Like, you see Braden's 10 assists away, you're like, no shot he's not hitting it.
Right.
Especially in a away game where it's going to be close. And all of that, and it wasn't that close in the end, but the Purdue fans were going pretty crazy for that, which we love to see. So good job. I mean, Purdue, man, just people are, like I said, that one loss sucks, but like, they've looked really good this season too. To me, I think that they've looked really good, and I think that like the teams that they've played outside of the Big Ten and outside of the Power Conference are also just really good teams, and they've handled them no problem. Mostly. I will give Oakland credit.
Right. So moving on to Southern Indiana, there Torvik ranked 342. That is the same ranking that they were this time last week. They did go 0-2. They are 3-11 overall, 0-4 in the Ohio Valley Conference. They lost at Southern Illinois University Edwardsville 59-55. That is SIUE, for those who use the abbreviation. They lost at Lindenwood 83-80. So two very, very close games, which pains me to say about the Screaming Eagles. Yeah, what notes you got from the games?
Cold White Boys. Jack Campion plays for SIUE now. That's one of our favorite Cold White Boys. He had 11 points and 4 rebounds. I mean, he did get the win against his former team, which, you know, happy for him, but would like to see, you know, Southern Indiana pull that one out. Got it within 2 with 13 seconds left, but SIUE, you know, hit their free throws to seal it. So didn't really have, you know, any way to pull that one out. But if this is another year where we have to talk about Southern Indiana losing close games again and again, I'm gonna actually break. They lost to Lindenwood by 3. Cardell Bailey and Sheridan Sharp are both good, had 18 off the bench, but I mean, they were just playing chase, just the whole second half, just trying to catch up, and they just never got there. Maybe this is one where if it's a 45-minute game, maybe they can pull it off, but unfortunately, they could never finish playing the game of catch up that they had. So a tough break for USI. I had one thing. I just need to pull their record up here. 1 second, please forgive me. They are currently in the middle of a 6-game losing streak. So their last time that they won was against Kentucky State in November, the end of November, and they are still sitting on one Division I win. That's Valpo, and then they beat Loras and Kentucky State. So not a lot of good results, but like they only have one like loss where they got blown out, and that's by Little Rock in the conference. At least they got blown out by Little Rock by 15. 4-point loss in overtime to Morehead State, 4-point loss to SIUE, and then a 3-point loss to Lindenwood. So this is I'm gonna say it again, just like the past couple of years, they could easily be 3-1, right? They could very easily be 3-1 in this stretch, and unfortunately, it's just 0-4. And so the coaches and the leaders on that team really need to find a way to turn that around, because I'm sure that's hard on the players.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing to me is, so in that SIUE game, they really didn't have a guy that could take over a game if Ishmael Habib is struggling, right? I mean, they had four. Sorry, I'm reading from my phone because my computer died. They have four guys that average double digits. They had one guy score double digits in that game against SIUE. He's not one of those four. He's their fifth high-end scorer who averages 7. So that's just not what you want, right? That's not a recipe for success there. I mean, against Lindenwood, they remembered how to score. They just didn't score enough. And they, giving up that 10-3 run to start the second half is where everything just kind of derailed. So tough week for Southern Indiana. But like you said, I mean, 3-1 is a real possibility if they're not in these close games.
Absolutely.
So,
and I mean, this is a team that needs to win those games because they're not going to make it into the OVC tournament if they're not in the top 8. Let's talk about Valpo, our last team here. They went up from 212 to 189. They had a 1-2 week. They are 7-8 now overall and 1-3 in the Missouri Valley. So they lost at Northern Iowa. Tough week to be an Indiana team playing Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa swept the state. They lost 58-48. Then they went to Southern Illinois and they lost 75-70. And then they pulled off a very nice win down the stretch, just closed it out very nicely against Illinois Chicago, 66-59.
Yeah, that Northern Iowa game, I said it earlier, Northern Iowa I think they might, do they play a round robin?
There's no close.
So they might, I don't know the schedules off the top of my head. So we might see Northern Iowa again. And I hope that if any of these teams do, they get their get back, because they just ran the sweep over Indiana so far. The state of Indiana and the Valley teams so far. But Deese is the only one that showed up, I think, for that Northern Iowa game.
They all play Northern Iowa again, by the way, which is a tough break because Northern Iowa is currently ranked 58th, which would be 4th in the state of Indiana, according to Torvik.
Well, opportunities to get their get back for sure. Uphill battle, but hey, I mean, it's relatively close, respectable scores, so it's not outside of the realm of possibility. But a 13% from 3 is a stat for sure.
Vacation, bro. The 3-point shooting was still on vacation. We talked about this
with everyone. That Southern Illinois game, Deese got his second start of the season, I believe. Started back earlier in the season, but he just balled out again. Big week for him.
26 points, baby, career high.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it just came down to them. They dominated the glass the entire game. They led in rebounds, but they didn't rebound the one time it mattered.
Right.
There was a free throw shot at the end that Southern Illinois missed, and Valpo just didn't get the rebound. Southern Illinois got the offensive board and was able to make the basket, and it was pretty much wraps from there.
Yeah, and then UIC, I mean, they ended their 5-game losing streak, which is very good. Got out of that. We're on the right track now, and you did it, with some close ones, which is nice. But you closed them out, and like the UIC game, I never really felt was like in doubt at the end. They just kind of handled business. But I couldn't help but laugh because the play-by-play guy was talking, and he was like, oh yeah, this guy from UIC, he's like, he hasn't missed, or he's like shooting crazy. He's only missed 4 shots all year, and then he missed one, right? And then he was like, well, I don't believe in the announcer's curse. And then he missed the next one, and he's shooting like 90-something%, misses 2, and then I don't remember who it was for Valpo that went down, and then he was talking about like, yeah, he's been great tonight. He hasn't missed he hasn't missed any or something. missed it. I think maybe missed 2, but like as soon as he was like, I don't believe in the announcer's curse showed up, and it was crazy. But JT Pettigrew, freshman, has gotten really, really good this year. He's dropped 21 against UIC, had 7 boards, 3 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. And it's nice to win when you are the team that shoots 40 free throws, especially when you make 31 of them, even though the announcer's curse almost got you. So back on track, back in the winning columns, man.
Yeah, and it's only up from here. But that, I think, concludes our recaps. The remaining question that I have for you as we continue to talk about what happened last week in the state of Indiana for college basketball is, who is the Jimmy Chitwood Player of the Week?
Well, we talked about how it might be the year of the cold white boy, and let's talk about the dude who might be the coldest white boy of them all, Braden Smith. Dropped 20 assists this week and 24 points this week. He helped them win over Kent State and at Wisconsin. But the biggest thing that he did this week, and why he is very deserving for this award, is he's now the Big Ten's career assist leader with 893. He just passed Cassius Winston, who is one of my favorite Big Ten guards. But Braden Smith has proved he's better, and I like him more. He's tied for 18th most assists in all of college basketball. And barring something crazy, he's going to break that record, and he will be the assist leader in all of college basketball, which is crazy for a guy who had one offer, and that was Purdue. Matt Painter saw something in Braden Smith, and Braden Smith is showing us that Matt Painter was right. So Braden Smith, Jimmy Chitwood Player of the Week for the second time this season. And on that note, did you know Doug Gottlieb is 11th?
I did not.
He's 11th. He has 947 assists. He only had like 130 his first year in college, which was at Notre Dame. He balled out for 3 years at Oklahoma State. Here's the crazy thing. He like set school records at Oklahoma State. It gets crazier. I didn't know he was that high on the list. So when Braden passes him, we got to talk about that. But 2, he started at Notre Dame. Do you know why he left?
Why?
He got kicked off the team because he stole a different player's credit card and like bought some stuff. So they kicked him off the team, and he could have gone D1. Like he had offers to like sit out a year and transfer to another school. He said nah, and he went to like a JUCO or like a different division and played, and then was gonna go to like USC or UCLA. It was one of the California schools because that's where his family's from. Like season tickets, but they took somebody else. So he ended up at Oklahoma State and was one of the best like passers in the entire country in college basketball ever. Did not know he knew ball like that. I know the Doug Gottlieb who had a radio show, right? That's the Doug Gottlieb for my generation, your generation. I didn't know. I apologize, man. I apologize. I will respect him a little bit more. That's crazy. Maybe don't steal somebody's credit card and get kicked off Notre Dame, or I probably would have known all about you.
But honestly, if someone's gonna steal someone's credit card,
yeah,
he's the guy. Yeah. He just seems like that kind of guy.
Like I was just looking, I like saw that and I was like, no way. And then I like kept digging. I was like, dude, no way. This is crazy. So a little bit of a fun thing right there. Let's talk about games next week. Where do you want to start? We got some pretty important ones in my mind.
Yeah, I mean a big one that's going to be interesting to me, just because it's pertinent. Because I'm waiting for the current Indiana game to finish to report that score. But Indiana on the 10th, they play Nebraska. Mm-hmm. Nebraska's undefeated for the first time in school history.
Yeah,
they are
14-0 for the first time ever.
Yeah. So Indiana are at the time 5-point favorites, which is pretty interesting to me. I don't exactly know who all Nebraska's played, so like
they just beat Michigan State at Nebraska.
That is valid. But that game I think is going to be really interesting. I mean, Indiana's currently leading Washington. Should be good to get on the right side of that column, or stay on the right side of the win column in the Big Ten. But it's a tough challenge to play Nebraska. Luckily, it's at home, mm-hmm. which helps them out.
Yeah, I mean it'll be a tough ask, but I mean I wouldn't want to play Nebraska right now. I'll tell you that much. They
Could you
are
imagine if the game was at Nebraska too?
they'd be cooked. Just don't even show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Evansville at Indiana State game. That's on the Saturday the 10th at 5 p.m. Evansville is 8-point underdogs to Indiana State, which I think seems appropriate. We'll see what kind of shooting performances we get from these teams, and then like ones that I'm interested to see how Notre Dame bounces back at home versus Clemson on Saturday. They got a week off to get right after that travel, so we'll see how they do against them. And then one more that I was looking forward to is Evansville at home versus Murray State. Murray State's 10-point favorites. Murray State's currently undefeated in the Valley, but where is Evansville's losing streak gonna end? Hopefully versus Murray State, because
hopefully there, yeah.
It would make me sad if I usually root for the home team when our two Indiana teams play, because that feels like the right thing to do. So hopefully they can break that losing streak before that.
Yeah. Another game, Ball State. It's a must-win opportunity at this point for them. They play against Eastern Michigan in Worthing Arena in Muncie. That game is on the 6th at 7 p.m. They're currently 2.5-point underdogs, but again, you gotta start winning some games for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Butler, good big game against St. John's again. They need to bounce back. And then, the last one that I have is where to go? Is just any game that Southern Indiana is playing. They're at home versus SEMO. Would like to see them win and get out of that losing streak that they are currently on. Skid.
Yeah, skid. One thing that I want to call out about that Butler St. John's game, as I talked about earlier, Butler playing better with higher tempo games. St. John's, I think, is at the top of the list in tempo for the Big East. So
it's good.
Could be a good opportunity for the Bulldogs to steal one against a really good team.
Yeah, I mean, a St. John's team that's not as good as people thought they were going to be, but like, you got to win that at home in the Big East, man. You got to win that.
Yeah. Well, let's widen our lens, zoom out a little bit, and talk about the other 49 states. So there's a few things that I want to bring up that aren't on our notes, Adam, just to give you that heads up. But what things do you want to?
Yeah. So Michigan is, I think, the number 2 team in the country in the AP poll. They have set a Big Ten record for most wins in a season by 40 or more with 6. That's the record. At the time that they set the record, they had only played 12 games. So half of their games were winning by 40 or more. They've now played 13 games. They won by 30 against USC. And USC was like fouling into the last minute. So Michigan just like kept playing. And just like it made Musselman very mad, and he blew by Dusty May in the handshake line, which sounds about right for Musselman.
Yeah. That game let me down because I think he actually got hurt. First of all, I think he went into the locker room at one point with a calf injury, but I was pulling for a closer game. The spread was 22.5 when I took it. I thought USC would.
I think I took it the other way. I didn't think that there was going to be any way.
I looked at it and I think, or I might have taken. No, I didn't take USC money line. I definitely didn't do that. But I did. I was optimistic that it'd be closer. But then I also took Michigan money line.
You had a 50-50 chance of them beating them by 40 or not, really, at that point.
Yeah. Dude, so I think it was today, Texas, they're playing Mississippi State. Mississippi State shot a free throw.
Okay.
It rimmed out, bounced out. Texas got the rebound and the tip in for the score. on the wrong basket.
They swatted it and it went in and it counted for. That sucks.
Yeah, there were 3 of them. There was no one from Mississippi State around. 3 people went up to get the rebound for Texas, and it just bounced between their hands and up into the basket.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh my god.
I kind of have one more thing, and that's so Nebraska's 14-0 right now. We talked about that, but they have the longest winning streak in the country at 18. That dates back to when they won the crown, I think last season. So they won 4 straight, and then they won 14 straight this year. Miami of Ohio is the first team to start 15-0 since Baylor did it in 2021, and it's the first time that they've been 15-0 in program history. They had not even been 14-0, so that's huge. So 2 undefeated teams, but there are currently 6 undefeated teams. All right, Miami of Ohio is 15-0, Michigan's 13-0, Arizona is 14-0, Nebraska is 14-0, Vanderbilt's 14-0, and Iowa State is 14-0. Okay. 5 of these teams are power conference teams. Miami of Ohio is the lone mid-major. When do you think, who is going to be the last remaining unbeaten? For reference, Miami is projected to lose to Kent State on January 20th. Michigan favored the rest of the season. Arizona is projected to lose at Houston on February 21st. Nebraska, like you talked about, is projected to lose at Indiana on the 10th. Vanderbilt, favored in every game. Iowa State is projected to lose at Kansas on January 13th. Who do you think is going to be the last team to remain?
Just because of this talent differential right now, I think Miami. I think that they can, because the Big Ten is a tough conference. Anyone can win at any point.
Okay.
We know that, right? Like Minnesota could go in and beat Michigan. Like it's not outside the realm of possibility. Houston is just good, right? I don't think. I guess that is in February. You said, so maybe.
So let me tell you,
it'd be Arizona or Miami, but I just.
Let me tell you. So Michigan's next games: at Penn State, home versus Wisconsin, at Washington, at Oregon, home versus Indiana, home versus Ohio State, home versus Nebraska, then at Michigan State. And the only one where they're not favored by at least 16 is at Michigan State, which is pretty crazy. Miami's obviously, I think, going to be closer because they are 98th in Torvik. If it'll load, they're 98th. They have to play Kent State, who's 134. That's not till the 20th. They do have to go through Buffalo, but they also play Central Michigan, Western Michigan. They do have Toledo in there too. So they've got some tough ones.
Yeah.
Toledo, Buffalo. Sorry, at Toledo, home versus Buffalo, and then at Kent State.
I'm kind of riding with the Redhawks though.
All right.
I like, and purely there's a nostalgia component to it too. They still do physical tickets.
That's awesome.
Their tickets also have coupons on them,
but
they're all expired. Someone posted a picture. I wanted to talk about this earlier. There was it's a picture of their Akron ticket.
Okay.
Right, from January 3rd, 2026. There are two coupons on this. There's a free cheese coney from Skyline, and then a buy one value basket, get one free from Culver's. The coney, or the Skyline cheese coney, offered expired April 15th, 2020.
That's hilarious.
So that I thought was cool. But back to the question, honestly, maybe it's just Michigan.
The fact that they're beating teams by 40 is the thing that like makes me think it'll be them.
Yeah, like it might just
and
be.
And they've got a decent while before they play somebody crazy. I don't know. Like I'm leaning Michigan, and I also kind of want to see a Big Ten champion. I would like it for it to be Purdue, but Michigan's pretty crazy.
But then Arizona not playing Houston until the end of February.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like Arizona's next upcoming games, are they at risk in any of these, do you think? Home, 20-point favorites to Kansas State. At TCU, favored by 7. Home versus Arizona State, favored by 20. At UCF, favored by 8. Home versus Cincinnati, favored by 17. Home versus West Virginia, favored by 15. Away at BYU is the one that's probably like maybe. They're -1 and 1.3 at BYU on January 26th. It's going to be an interesting race, man. We might see the last unbeaten team last until February, which I don't think has happened in a couple of years, probably since Baylor.
Yeah, and the fact
since Gonzaga did it in 21.
And the fact that all of these teams are in different well, I guess Arizona, Houston, Arizona, and Iowa State,
and Michigan and
Nebraska. So never mind, that's wrong. But Michigan and Nebraska might not play each other.
Right? No, they have to play. Everyone plays each other at least once.
Right.
But like, yeah, so like there could be 2 undefeateds playing each other, right? We could have Nebraska and Michigan, probably not,
but also Iowa State and Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think by nature Miami has the best chance.
Yeah.
Or Vanderbilt, I guess.
Yeah, Vanderbilt honestly could be because they've been so good.
I don't know, but the SEC is weird because you've got Arkansas and Kentucky that are both.
Arkansas and Kentucky kind of sucks, dude.
Yeah,
I mean they've got like Florida's in there,
but they're talented enough.
The thing is the reason why I was like I don't know about Vandy is their next game is at home. To be fair, but it's against Alabama. They go Alabama, LSU, Texas, Florida, Arkansas. That's pretty tough 5 games to come out of that undefeated. Yeah. And like they did have to have an overtime win against Memphis. But I mean they've looked good. They've looked good, man. I mean Mark Byington has them looking really good. Yeah. Some about coaches from JMU having success.
For real.
So what else?
Those are kind of the big things. There's nothing really else that kind of stuck out to me, and I always like to. I've brought it up before. I always like to scroll through because I obviously don't catch everything and scroll through the college basketball Reddit. And there's been some weird, like a team. I think Charlotte beat Wichita State in double overtime on a 4-point play buzzer beater.
That's sick.
Did the shot a 3 with 0.8 on the clock. It expired, and there was a foul on the play.
They usually never call those. That's crazy. I'm glad they did. You know what? They should have called it there and not against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. But
next week?
Next week, yep. I'm kind of stalling for a second, but I was hoping that game would end to report that score before we talk about next week.
Well, we'll talk about it after. Monday, our game of the day is January 5th. Nebraska at Ohio State at 6:30. Like we said, Nebraska is 14-0, 3-0 in the Big Ten. If they can win at Ohio State, they're going to be 15-0 when they play at IU. So tough week for Nebraska.
Yep. Tuesday, our game of the day, that is January 6th, is Duke at Louisville. That's a 7 p.m. tip. Louisville just lost to Stanford in overtime, so they're looking for a bounce back win there against a very tough.
Not the team you want to have for a bounce back game. I get right game, but there they are.
Yeah.
Wednesday the 7th, our game is St. Louis at VCU at 7 p.m. St. Louis is off to their best start since 93-94 at 13-1. So another really good team out of the A10.
Josh Schertz, around.
Yeah. Shout out to our first year doing the show, covering Josh Schertz, Indiana State.
Thursday, game of the day, that is the 8th, is Santa Clara at Gonzaga at 11:30 p.m. East Coast Sickos game. Both teams are undefeated in the West Coast Conference, and they're both top 20 teams. So that'll be a game to watch.
Yeah, Friday, this game has motion because it has made high school basketball games move their start time. It's IU football versus Oregon at 7:30 p.m. is the college football playoff semifinals. We will be locked in on that, of course, watching Indiana have a chance to sweep Oregon and head to the national championship game. A sentence I never thought I would say in my life 3 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
ever.
Yeah.
Saturday the 10th, our game of the day is Tennessee at Florida at noon. This should be in the mix for the SEC. Both teams should be. But they are 4 and 5 lost teams right now. So really weird to think about Tennessee and Florida being in those positions, but that's just the way it goes sometimes.
And then Sunday, our game of the day is Wright State at Oakland at 3 p.m. It's two teams in the top half of the horizon. They were both 3-1 earlier today. I didn't update this since they played today, but two teams that are in two teams to keep an eye on for the Horizon League standings.
Yep. And then before we get into our guess the game, just to circle back to our Indiana Schools weekly recap, the Indiana Hoosiers did just beat the Washington Huskies 90-80. So Indiana joining Purdue as our two undefeated teams this week.
Played half as many games.
Yep, but that's okay.
All right, time for guess the game.
Yes.
I don't know who went first last time. I don't know who went first. I think, did I guess and then you guessed? I think because I took a longer time and then you got yours immediately, I think.
Yes.
So I give you my clue first, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just pay attention to every word every word is important. Every word, okay? Jaren, my guess the game for you is panhandling cows in an okay hurricane.
Panhandling cows in an okay hurricane. So, hurricane makes me think Miami, the U. Panhandle makes me think Florida State. But cows makes me think somewhere in like Oklahoma, and we know that there's an Oklahoma panhandle. We recently discovered that. And you also said okay, so Oklahoma. But cows? What mascot are the cows?
Remember, we are in conference season, so the teams have to be in the same conference.
I know. And which makes me think Florida State and Miami, both in the ACC. But at the same time, I don't know how cows fit into that and how okay fits into that. So there's a mascot that I'm missing here. I mean, Texas, they're Longhorns, they're cows,
right?
But I don't know how hurricane fits in. Iowa State is the Cyclones, so that's kind of like a hurricane, but a hurricane has water. And then I still don't know how okay fits into that.
Okay is very important.
I know. So it makes me think somewhere in Oklahoma.
Okay.
So, and I don't know like Tulsa's mascot. I don't know how hurricanes would apply to Oklahoma State or Oklahoma. I genuinely have no idea. There's like 12 teams in my head that I could tie to one clue or part of a clue, but I have no idea.
So I thought you were going to get there because you mentioned Tulsa. I thought if one thing was what you didn't know is Tulsa's mascot. They are the Golden Hurricanes. Panhandling cows. Both of these states have panhandles. The other one, South Florida Bulls. So Panhandling Cows
Oh.
is the South Florida, and then OK Hurricane. It's like, okay, it's not the Hurricanes, right? It's the OK Hurricane. I didn't know if you like. I don't think I would have gotten Golden Hurricanes, but I thought that I might be able to get you there with OK Hurricane. The game is South Florida at Tulsa, 3 p.m. on Saturday, January 10th.
I also just didn't realize that Tulsa's in the same. Like, I don't think about South Florida and Tulsa
In the American,
being
yeah,
in the same
right.
conference.
I
just
don't think
because
about Tulsa at all.
Well, yeah, that's more so. This was my polite way of saying I
Yeah.
don't know anything about Tulsa.
Yeah.
But then like Hurricane. Like that's what I was thinking before. I was like, okay, Florida State, Miami.
Right.
But like, how does Seminoles correlate with OK or Hurricane?
And like, yeah, like Oklahoma, like,
or sorry, Cows. But like,
right, because Oklahoma and Florida, you could be getting to like, okay, maybe it's an Oklahoma team versus a Florida team, but like those two are the only ones I think that are in the same conference, because USF is they're both in the American, but like,
I mean, there's
Miami,
Oklahoma and Florida. Those are the SEC. But like,
right, but what is
how does anything relate to Florida?
Yeah, right.
And
right.
then, like I knew it was an Oklahoma school.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, that's why I was like, Oklahoma, Texas.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But then where does Hurricanes come into that?
Right.
So it's like
missing. It's the missing connection.
Yeah,
That's what always gets me, man. It always gets me.
And like because I knew I was literally on the right path. I said
you had the right states, man. You had the right states.
Yeah, I could not make the connection.
Yeah.
We should make a college basketball connections.
That'd be crazy.
Okay.
It'd be so hard to do.
Yeah. So I took a loss. I'm still in the win. I'm still leading overall.
2-6. 2-6. 2-5. Sorry, 2-5.
Yeah. I'm 2-5. You are 1-5.
Okay, Adam. I gotta get back in the win column.
Okay. I think this one's it's tough, but we'll get there. So
this isn't a team effort.
I will try and get you there. I've tried with my hint. So my hint, Adam, is my guess the game is an airport conspiracy hiking to the summit of the Coyote-packed Dakotas.
Okay, there's the Colorado airport, and that's, I think, the one with the conspiracy. So, and then the Dakotas. So this is probably going to be Summit League game. Now there's okay, I'm going to be confused because there's North Dakota and there's North Dakota State. Or there's South Dakota State. South Dakota State's the Jackrabbits, I think. It's probably not that one. Give me the clue again. I want to hear it.
Airport conspiracy hiking to the summit of the Coyote-packed Dakotas.
Coyote-packed Dakotas. Just don't know my Summit League teams because, okay. I think I'm going to go with Northern Colorado and lock that in. And I'm going to say their Northern Colorado is playing South Dakota. That's my final answer.
So just repeat that.
Northern Colorado is playing South Dakota.
You got one of them.
Northern Colorado?
No, South Dakota. South Dakota Coyotes. Denver. The Denver airport.
Yeah, I mean, I should have gotten that. Denver didn't even occur to me. Again, don't know my Summit League teams, I guess. That's a shame.
And is Northern Colorado's in the Big Sky?
I don't know. That was tough. I got the states, right?
Yeah. Genuinely, first off, before I get too far.
Denver is the what mascot?
The Broncos. Duh. No. Okay, so the game was Denver at South Dakota Saturday, January 10th at 2 p.m.
Okay.
Pioneers.
The Pioneers. Okay.
Yes.
I did not know that either.
I thought so. That's why I didn't want. I didn't know their mascot, so I didn't give a mascot clue for them. I thought saying Airport Conspiracy would tie it to Denver.
It should have, but I forgot Denver was a school.
That's fair.
I forgot Denver was a school. If we're being quite honest.
But then I was like, okay, do I say? Because I was gonna say Coyote Packed Badlands, but I wasn't sure if you knew for certain that the Badlands were South Dakota.
I mean, I would have gotten there.
I don't know if you would have gotten South Dakota.
Yeah, well, I know that they're in South Dakota, but
okay.
So I probably would have gotten there, but
you got there anyway.
I don't know North Dakota's mascot.
North Dakota is the
Fighting Hawks.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the North Dakota State is the Bisons.
Yeah. I mean, at least it was going to be one of 4 schools in the Dakotas, right?
Yeah. I figured you wouldn't guess. If I knew for certain that you knew the Badlands were in South Dakota, I would have probably gone with that because I think he would have gotten that it wasn't South Dakota State because they're the Jackrabbits, and I said Coyote specifically.
Hey, at least
even if you didn't know Coyote was South Dakota's mascot,
right?
I knew that you knew that South Dakota State was the Jackrabbits.
At least we both ended up in the right states, you know.
Yeah.
That's a win for us.
I just had too many options that I couldn't piece one together, whereas you just weren't familiar.
Yeah, I just
specifically.
I needed to know my my Summit League teams,
and that's why
because I wasn't locked in on PFW when they were
in the Summit.
Oh, also, what a horrific travel situation for PFW. My God.
Well, I have a buddy who played on their baseball team.
Dude, that's horrible.
When they were in the Summit.
It's horrible.
He said it was awful. But that's why I included Summit. Because I wanted to try and narrow it down that way.
Right.
Because I could have I almost didn't. I almost just omitted the hiking to the Summit. But I felt that adding that would have been the better content.
Had I known that Denver was in the Summit League, or had I remembered that Denver existed as a school.
Just the missing components.
It was a good clue. And
I mean, you saw me come up. You saw me spend maybe 5 minutes coming up with it.
It was a fine clue.
I was looking through them all, and I was like, "This is the game.
That's good.
This is what we're doing." It just called to me.
A couple of L's for us.
But hey, I still got one more win, so I'm still looking happy. Imagine half points in this scenario.
That would have been nice.
1.5 to 5.5 to 2 to 5. It's a half point closer.
Maybe.
Because I wouldn't have gotten any half points.
You got to keep track of them yourself, man.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Not at this point in the season.
Not at the season's half point, dare I say?
Second half. Hey, the second half of the season, actually. I'll start.
The numbers would be so skewed because we only did 7 of them instead of, and we got 9 more weeks. Anyway, our people need to get to sleep.
Yes.
They don't. Never sleep.
The clock is showing quadruple zeros, so it's time for us to get out of here. Thanks for checking in on the State of Basketball podcast. We will see you next time. And remember, in 49 states,
it's just basketball.